If you had 30 minutes with a rugby team for an in-season strength training, what would you focus on? Some subsection of the in-season program. So there's two answers to this. The first thing is, it at the moment in the gym with the rugby team I'm coaching, the only thing I do is a small bit of what you'd essentially call range of motion work, mobility work, getting them to use barbells and steel plates to massage out tight muscle areas, getting them to go through partner stretches. Most of them, and your rugby team will be the exact same, will have incredibly tight shoulders, very tight quads and calves and hammies. And we're basically looking at the overall injury profile of the team. Where do we think the most risk is going to come from next? And then smashing that out. So they'll be in pairs. One person will be lying on the floor doing semicircles with their arms. The other person will be pinning a 20-kilo plate into their pec here. We're looking for those tight spots. They're going to drive in and compress that area. And then the person who's getting worked on will move their arm up and down. This, we're looking at rolling out their quads with barbells. They're going into stretching positions. They're doing a lot of couch stretches, band distracted stretches, opening up their chest and torso and T-spine, making sure they're slightly more mobile so that when they get pulled out of position next week in a big hit or as they hit a ruck, they're hopefully going to be able to absorb that a small bit easier. The problem in this case is, with your question, and it's a good question, is in the case where there's 30 minutes available, can we do a subsection of the strength program? Yes. In this case, you could do 4 sets of 10 on the back squat, 4 sets of 10 on the bench press. Next week, do 5 sets of 8, 5 sets of 8. Next week, do 4 sets of 6, 4 sets of 6. You would make some increase in strength, but it's probably not exposure or enough exposure to actually make a meaningful difference to them as rugby players. It's probably just going to make them a little bit more sore, probably going to just make them a little bit more tired for the training session the next day. And so I'd rather just put them in a position where they're in a better position to be on the field the next day because they're taking a lot of hits. Now, we're going to have a little off-season piece coming, or not off-season. We're going to have a few down weeks, hopefully 3 down weeks over Christmas. Certainly, if we get into the gym in that period, we have multiple 30 to 45-minute sessions available to us. And then getting one or more of those in every week, and I know it's going to be consistent, then I would be recommending the solid strength movements. I'm not going for things like power cleans. I'm not going for things like med ball throws. I'm not going for large dynamic movements. I'm just going for big compound lifts. Back squat, deadlift, bench press, some sort of heavy row. Those are the movements we'll do. We'll keep the volume quite high and push them very, very hard with those. And that will be what I do for 30 minutes.